Hi there folks, today on our walk we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, how it works and what's involved. I'm here with my friend Patrick, who's visiting from Hong Kong. Well, actually, to be honest, he's visiting from every part of the world. He's an international citizen. Patrick, what's going on?
Thank you for the coffee, Simon. I'm very happy to be here in Simon's neck of the woods, Hampstead Heath. We're going to check this place out. We're going to talk about life, entrepreneurship, what to do, what not to do, be inspired and enjoy the show.
And Hampstead Heath, folks, if you haven't visited it, and I'm sure maybe a lot of you are listening from overseas, so you can't visit England right now, we can tell you a little bit about the history of this place. It's got a fantastic story that I think will blow your mind. I didn't know just how exciting the story was until I read all about it. So on the walk today, we'll tell you the story. So come on, join us. So guys, we were just talking politics and how to run a business and what the best management system is. And so Patrick was just sharing his knowledge with me. So I thought I'd just open up the camera again and make sure you capture these insights. So Patrick, what do you think about running businesses? I think you were mentioning Jeff Bezos. That's always someone that people...
I was watching a video on Jeff Bezos yesterday, and he was taught as a long. It must be an old video because he still had a bit of hair on. Sorry, Jeff, but
wow, it must be very old.
He was talking about brand is very important. The brand of a company. A company is just like a person, and the person's most important asset is his or her reputation. Mm-hmm. So the branding is all the effort, the money, the resources, the heart and soul that you put into the company. That's the brand. And he talks about how you earn the trust of the people. Trust you can't buy overnight, even with a lot of money. So I guess in business, in entrepreneurship, or whatever you may be doing, it might not even be entrepreneurs, just in anything that you do, you have to put your heart and soul in it, try your best. And that's the brand or reputation, whatever you want to call it, that you label. That's what represents who you are.
I think, touching quite a lot of important points there. I think the personal brand piece is totally underrated. And from a young age, I think you should be conscious that whatever you put out there in the world is going to affect your image and are going to affect your opportunities. So I think personal brand is really, really important. A lot of people get a bit confused and they don't understand what personal brand is. But I think it's basically everything you do and everything you say. And I think that's why, especially for young people, they put a lot of stuff out there that later on in life they might regret. So you've got to be a bit conscious of how you explain yourself and make sure that people understand you fully. That's what brands don't do well, the ones that fail. They don't explain what their value is. That's why I think a lot of businesses have not succeeded, even if they've gone online. It's because their brands were never defined. They were always about their location, for example, on the high street, as opposed to their value proposition. So I think personal brands are so important. And company brand, which I know a lot of people that listen to both of us are starting companies, and I think that company brand and personal brand are two separate things, and a company needs its own personality, it needs its own set of values.
Absolutely, including myself, and it's a personal struggle, challenge that we all have to identify and do more of. But I think we were talking offline earlier, which is quite interesting, is Simon was mentioning that he was he was the captain of the rugby team, but then he wasn't one of the cool people. Well, that's what he mentioned.
Yeah, it's true. And I was never cool at school.
We were talking about, well, he's not cool now either.
No, not cool now. I had a moment where I was cool for about 6 weeks, I think, in Hong Kong.
And the interesting thing about bullying is we were talking about that sometimes, most of the time, bullies who bully, obviously weaker people, they're generally they've had some kind of domestic abuse in some way, maybe verbal, maybe physical. And at home, the bully is actually being abused by the father or whoever it may be, the bigger brother or whatever. And that ended up affecting them, and they have to take out that anger.
I think we were talking about how you've got to have empathy. I think for anyone out there starting a business, for example, you might get a lot of hate. You might have a lot of people that are jealous or say things to you that aren't in your best interest. And sometimes I think you've just got to have empathy for the person that's saying these things. I mean, again, Gary Vee says these things all the time. I feel like half the time we can't say anything anymore as an entrepreneur that we feel because Gary Vee's already said it. But it's true. There's definitely a really important element there. You've got to have empathy for the people that hate you and not take it too personally, although often they're very personal slates, aren't they? Anyway, guys, we're going to go to Kenwood House now. If you've never seen this building, it's absolutely beautiful. So come along with us and we'll share some more of our views in the hope that they're useful. So come on. So for the history of this part of Hampstead Heath in Zone 2 London is amazing to me, and I think its history can always tell you the future. I don't know what you think about history, Patrick, but one of the things I love about where we're about to go, Kenwood House now, is the story of the person that used to own it. And when he decided in his will what to do, his family were shocked, but you've got 10 kilometres worth of land here that is very valuable, could easily be built on, and I would say billions of pounds of profit generated for whoever did that. But when the owner of it wrote his will and it was handed over in 1916 to the council, not his family, and he basically wrote about how he felt there was a gap starting to happen that would end in anarchy, where the rich like him had everything and the poor had nothing. And he felt that if we don't start transferring that wealth to those that don't have it, then we'd have riots in the streets and uprisings and chaos. So he dedicated this park that he owned to the people and said that it could never be built on, and that it must always be open to the public, never a gated community or for the wealthy only, and that anyone from any walk of life would be able to enjoy this park. And so, Patrick, what do you think of what I was just saying?
It's very honourable and admirable what he did, because this is beautiful, and it's like a freezing day, but you know, with good friends, good conversation, nature, people enjoying walking their dogs. It's really refreshing, and this is actually one of my favourite things of doing, is going with a friend and we go around the park. I usually go to Hyde Park, and we talk about life, personal stuff, family stuff, an open thing, grab a coffee, sit down, enjoy the view, and then that's like a 3-4 hour sort of like brainstorming session of life, and that helps me to gather my thoughts and to exchange and catch up with friends again. And he's remembered to this day, how many years? 150 or whatever?
Well, yeah, I guess 105.
105 years, so, you know, respect and gratitude to this gentleman.
Hi folks, so we're now at Kenwood House. It's so beautiful, and Patrick and I were just talking about, should you invest in property or not? I have an opinion that you shouldn't bother. I think a lot of the time with property, it's kind of a soulless industry. Now sure, you can do up a house and learn some stuff, but it's not, in my view, that much of a gain, and there are better things you can do with your money. But Patrick's got a great view on this. I'd like him to share it. So Patrick, what do you think?
Our family originally started from the restaurant business, and then we evolved into real estate, and now that I've taken over the direction of the company, we're actually doing a lot more things in like positive influence, positive impact. So I think I agree with you that, you know, if you buy a house to live in, I support that. It's always good to have your own, you know, nest of ownership so that you have comfort and stability for your family. But in terms of businesses, in terms of making money and profit, I think there's better businesses to do. I think technology or other things can be much more powerful. Not only can you make profit, but you can actually make social change and impact to society as well as the planet.
So there you go, folks. You heard it from two people that are in business, that hopefully will give you some knowledge to go out there and find purpose in your business. That doesn't mean to say don't do property. If it makes you happy, do it. But there are many other things you could be doing. So thanks for joining us on our walk this morning, guys. Patrick is a new friend of mine. I feel like he's an incredible individual. If you don't know him, you should. He's got a book coming out himself soon, and you should follow him on his social media channels. And we were just talking about one final thing I think we'd both like to share with you, and that is friendship, relationships, and how valuable they are. I was just on a rant a moment ago about how people, I think, today aren't valuing friendships in the way that they should. If you find people that are loyal to you, you know, it's such a magical thing. Be loyal back. Patrick's philosophy, if someone is kind to him, he tries to be 10 times kinder to them. And I think then you should be 100 times kinder again, and that creates incredible bonds, because I believe that a friendship today can last a lifetime, and at the end of your lifetime you've got some awesome people to sit around a table with and talk about what you did. Friendship, relationship, please don't neglect it. That's my view. Patrick, what do you think?
I think there's 2 points I want to mention. First of all is relationships is key. to anything, not just in business, but in life. If you have good friendships, family relationships, then your life will be more whole, and then you'll do things better. And when you're happy, you're more positive, you produce better results. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I think during this COVID period, I think a lot of people are asking, can you still close deals on Zoom? Of course you can. However, nothing beats the real thing, which is having face-to-face connections, because it's about, the body language, the way people speak, their mannerisms, their eyes, how they look at you, the different cultural exchanges that you can have, little tells of, is the deal going well, is the conversation going well, and how you can show your, eagerness. And but we all got to have a direction of where we want to go. Relationships is key. You have to make physical relationships with people, and you need to keep in touch with people, and value them. I think some things will never change in life, and relationships is one of them.
This is George Orwell's house, guys. I love a quote I saw on Instagram recently where someone said 1984 was not meant to be a manual on how to make it all happen, which sometimes does feel like we're living in the 1984 version of life. But I hope you enjoyed today's video blog. I hope myself and Patrick brought some value to you. If you found it interesting, then please do hit the like button and let the algorithm know you liked it, because that lets the algorithm know other people like you might find this interesting. And if you want to give us a comment below, have any questions, I always answer comments. I get a couple of thousand comments a week, as you guys know, but I always reply. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free. In addition, if you feel that there's anyone out there that might find this blog useful today, hit the share button. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Have a wonderful day.